Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Jay Shah, Vice President and Head Cultural Outreach, Mahindra Group, Teamwork Arts and the Meta Secretariat, a very warm welcome to the Conversations at Meta at the 17th edition of Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards and Festival. The Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards, now in its 17th year, continues to applaud the finest in Indian theatre and set benchmarks for excellence. The last 2 years, as the world grappled with the pandemic, the show didn't stop for Meta and saw the Meta stage going virtual with magnificent productions showcased online for theatre lovers and connoisseurs. Finally, in 2022, the 17th edition of Meta will be a physical showcase of award-winning plays from Meta 2020, the landmark 15th edition of Meta, between July 7th to the 10th at Kamani Auditorium. These series of conversations preceding the plays will take you through the journey behind these plays, covering aspects of scripting, stage design, adaptations, costumes, and a lot more. Once again, a very warm welcome to this conversation at Meta 2020. Today's conversation is based on the play Bhaskara Pattelarum, Thommiyude Jeevithavum, effective stage design for an adaptation. Suveeran and Shereen Saif, moderated by Chandradasan. A play based on an acclaimed novel, Bhaskara Pattelarum, Thommiyude Jeevithavum, by famous Malayalam writer Paul Zacharia, Meta 2020 winner Bhaskara Pattelarum is a perfect example of an adapted screenplay of an original work seamlessly expressed through a grand and almost cinematic stage design. This conversation with the play director and an actor pivots around the nuances of the adapted screenplay and the stage design that it provides with the appropriate backdrop. Introducing to you our panelists for today. Suveeran. Suveeran is an alumni of the School of Drama, Calicut University, Thrissur, and the School of Performing Arts, Pondicherry. Recognized as an actor, director, and painter, he has to credit almost 30 plays and 4 short films, all of which have received many awards. He has published articles in leading periodicals in Kerala, many short stories, and a novelette, and translated 3 plays. Suveeran started his career as a director in Malayalam amateur drama and was noticed for plays such as Aghniyum Veshavum and Udamba Kodalam. He has received the Sangeet Natak Academy Award thrice and was awarded the Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Award in 2011 for his drama Ayusinte Pustakam. Suveeran was awarded the National Award for Best Feature Film in 2011. Shereen Saif. Shereen Saif is an Indian-born Dubai-based artist with a practice that spans dance, theatre, storytelling, voice acting, and conceptual art. Her movement vocabulary is shaped by her training in the Indian classical traditions of Bharatnatyam, Mohiniyattam, and Kathak under Kala Mandalam Sujata, Dr. Neena Prasad, and Pali Chandra. Shereen is a graded Mohiniyattam artist of Doordarshan Kendra and also has a distinction in ISTD Grade 4 Kathak. Her craft as an actor has been shaped by several influences, particularly her training in India at Natana Kairali and Adi Shakti Laboratory for Theatre Art Research and her association with Dubai-based theatre directors Liz Hathaway and Sol Abaid. In conversation with Chandradasan. Chandradasan, founder and artistic director of Lokadharmi Center for Theatre, Kochi, is a designer, director, dramaturge, actor, writer, and translator. He designed and directed more than 50 plays that include adaptations of classics, Western and Indian, Shakespeare, contemporary plays, musicals, improvised and devised productions, poetry and short story performances, comedies and children's plays in Malayalam, Kannada, Hindi, Finnish, Lithuanian, Tamil, Sanskrit, and English. His plays are widely performed all over India and in major theatre festivals including Parangam, ITFOK, and also in Greece, Lithuania, and Finland. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Bhaskara Pattelarum Thommiyude Jeevithavum, effective stage design for an adaptation. Suveeran and Shereen Saif, moderated by Chandradasan. Over to you, Chandradasan.
Hello, good evening, everybody. So nice to be with Meta again. I've been a regular person in these kinds of meeting and Meta festivals. And so nice to have Suveeran on the other side talking to him and hearing about his production, and Shereen Saif, who has been known to me through things. And it's good that we are speaking about a very good production directed by Suveeran KP. Bhaskara Pattelarum Thommiyude Jeevithavum, which is one of his best. I just say one of his best because he has done many good productions. I've been following his work from his student days, seeing many of his productions, including Pusstakam and many other. And I've been almost a kind of looking at him as very potential, very brave, very theatrical director from Kerala, one of whom I personally close to my heart. And this production, Bhaskara Pattelarum, I have not seen it physically, but Meta has given me that video, which is a wonderful recording and it's very good production. So I'm very happy to be here talking to him, mostly hearing from him and Shereen, who have done marvelously well in a role as Omana. So at the very outset, Suveeran, can you speak? Why do you choose this story, this novella by Zacharia? Zacharia has been writing so many short stories, and he is again another favorite writer of me, who was actually instrumental in creating a sensitivity to the new story and how narrativity of the story should be like that. And Bhaskara Pattelarum is one of his stories. And this has been, all of us know that now this has been made in the film by none other than Adur Gopalakrishnan named Vijay. So yesterday, after Meta asked me, I've been watching Vijay and I've been watching, for me, means the production of Suveeran, and also I read the story also. I have to tell you, in the beginning itself, the production of Suveeran is outstanding. Really good. So I asked him why he selected this text, which, when you read the storyline, it is not that much dramatic. It's just spreads out like that from one place to another place to another place, and loosely connected episodes, loosely connected incidents. And when you see the production, it's a coherent production, linking everything together, coming everything concentrated and crystallized onto the just that proscenium space. But you don't lose that vast geography of what Zacharia has been writing. So, Suveeran, please tell us why this play, and then we start about talking other aspects of the production.
Thank you, Chandradasan, for good words. And first of all, I don't know how to say. The very first time I was a student, when I was reading this, when I am reading this novel from the periodical Madhrumi weekly. And I was studying degree, I think, BSc Zoology at that time. First of all, I felt that novelette to make as film. But I am not a filmmaker actually, but I was very keen to enter in that media and all that time. First of all, I wrote the full screenplay. It's a very big joke. After read all the novelette, I very immediately, within days, I completed the screenplay. And the next day, I found in the newspaper that Adur Gopalakrishnan is going to make a film, and it's already announced. So I was very sad. And in the first reading, I am into it. I fell into it. I wanted to do somehow, and that characters and as you said, like that geography, a character who running beyond than something like that. Lots of images in my mind. So I want to express it somehow in a visual kind of format. So first I thought it's a cinema. Then after he made that film as Vidhan, so I done my kind of revenge towards that cinema as theater, because after that I learned theater a lot. So I thought, why can't I? Why can't? So I started to find a kind of language, how to express that kind of running and a kind of geography and the all images. First time I came into mind, I tried to replace or recreate into in a theater language. That's what the joke I said. Because and now I can say the true side of it. I directed this play first time in 1996, and myself acted in as Tommy, and that popular actor called Joy Matthew done that Pattelarum role, and it came out very well. But it's still existing. That's what the important part of this play. I actually I learned it from Rathan, who still running his play, Uttar Pradesh, after 30 years back. He made it 30 years back, and still is performing in all over the festivals in the world, all over the world. So we cannot do such kind of things even then. In our very limited area, I tried to keep that play. So what I upgraded always, year by year. At last, this play productions happened in Dubai. And even this actress, Omena, also from Dubai. They asked me to do this play for them. So I directed this way, the way you watching this time. And maybe you can add more, so you can ask more maybe, so I can continue.
One thing which this discussion is to be concentrated or focused is about the adaptation of the text into the play, the performance text. So the text to the performance text is a very interesting thing. See, two things are there in my mind. One is the design of the space, as you suggested, or that vast space. The travel of Tommy from Wayanad, you made it Wayanad, and Zacharia has written is Kochi, and then he has given a footnote that Kochi is common for anywhere from Kerala. Is Kochi, and the landscape there, on the roadside, the toddy shop, the shop they are sitting, the house of Tommy, and then the house of Bhaskara Pattelarum, then the different landscapes outside, the forest, and somewhere in Madikeri, the house in Madikeri, also a lot of spaces are there. And you have to just depict everything in a single, I'll say a single kind of set which changes here and there, and except in the last sequence where everything is getting demolished and there's a drastic visual change. Otherwise, the set remains the same. But you have your favorite image there, that's a circle, that circular thing which you are repeating in production to production. I've seen it in Chakram, I've seen it in Pustakam, and here also it is there, that circular thing and moving around and going inside this thing. But somehow, here it works much better than in Pustakam, or even in Chakram, it means the wheel. Chakram means the wheel. So here it does a kind of miracle of translating or transporting the story from one space to another space without much changes, without much change. Maybe the actors contributed much more. When their presence is there and when their body language is there, it depicts the space. So how you arrived at this design? Before going to the design, how you selected the narrative that means the script from the thing. See, I have noticed that the dialogues which you used, the lines you used are directly taken to lines here and there. Even Adur has also done the same thing. He has also taken the lines from the story itself. So, but you have made a kind of rearranging, slight editing, or I will say pacing one scene after the time given to each scene so that it runs very smoothly. So can you first tell us about the adaptation of the text into the play and then slowly move to the design part of it, and then we can move to the other things.
The thing is, first of all, we always, once we started to direct a play, the first thing, as you know, we start to think about scenic design. So it will start with the lines, maybe squares or rounds or heights or horizontal, vertical, landed, perpetual. So many lines comes in our mind. Then we reduce this. Which line is better for display? The straight, horizontal, or landing. So many, lots of things. Or curve, round, square. So for this play, because as you said, there is no a particular space for it, different kinds of dots and dots. So I left all kind of that thoughts first. So I thought about how to run, how to be a person into the height, how to be changed towards a forest or a darkness or a small space, a large space. I started design such kind of things. I want a small space for a small family, a large space for a kind of that Patelar kind of a man. Lots of things. That kind of images I put into the scenic design. So the first time and only once I thought about this kind of awkward or unacademical kind of things. So I did lot of things. Always is if I want created, the other thing distracted. That was tarsam. That not being together. Lots of things, but not being together. It's not sits well. So only the difficult part was how to make it sit together. Many things. So I made it not only set completely first, but along through while blocking, I made that corrections throughout while blocking period and reached at last. So I kept the height what height I wanted, and nobody, never, we cannot, that we can do the running in the stage in a play, or very awkwardly we should show whether a person is running like this and running this. But I don't want it. I want to run him kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. So only for that I found the round. So he can run around the round platform. So that I can infinitely, he can run around the round. Only for that I created that round. And so after that, as I said, the other big part, it sits into it. that bigger house of Pattelarum. It sits around the running space. It sits well into it. Likewise, I kept all the things according to the movements creating time. While I'm creating the movement, I corrected it. I made it. I changed it. Likewise, it will came everything last fine. So I found that there are trees for forest, and I kept sky. There is, I don't know, is I am talking the things as you feel like or needed, whatever. Anyway, first I found an image, a sky, like in novelette. There are lots of presence of sky. The Tommy is running under the sky, and he feels the sky, and so many about sky and sky and sky. So I kept sky over the trees. Maybe the clouds is equal to sky. So I kept clouds over the trees. Means leaves, instead of leaves, I kept clouds. But later, the great image, it came later actually. I did something very drastically, something long before the first part. But later, the great images, I changed the great image later. Can you hear me? See me?
Sure.
So something happened here. No, it's okay. Okay. So the great image came later. It's also a rare happening in my life. It was a smell. A smell means the Chambakapu. I forgot the real name of it in English. Chambakapu. That Katti Chambakapu. The smell of Katti Chambakapu came as bigger images of display. So I changed clouds into flowers later. Something like that. I said the transformation of the set. People kept on changing. I think maybe some little changes again will come, maybe in the Mahindra production. Mm-hmm. So from 1996, I started this journey in this play. It always, it shoot to the period, shoot to every time. And I am only an updater to the play. And it is a wonderful novelette anyway. It's a classic. It's something greater than we read. And it is going to be last forever, like other old classics. I'm sure about it. But we didn't still recognize it about that novel. It's very simple. Already, we seems that it is a kind of very light, maybe. Like we always used to say about the Bashir's novels and all. It's very simple and light. But it taken lots of time to see what Bashir actually was. Likewise, this novelette also, this plays nothing in front of this novel, or that film is nothing in front of this novelette. That novel, it is itself complete, and it is in the world. He said a maximum into 30 pages. It's impossible in my reading. I read in my limited reading. I found it great. So I'm a fan of that novel, not Zacharia's actually. I'm that fan. So I wanted that novel with me always. So it's just kind of a passion. I know that is very old. That play is actually, it's not complete. It's not great. It's not modern. Even it's emotionally, I am into it, and I am only trying to my team to share that passion, my feelings, my thoughts onto that novelette. That's it. So it's coming always success. Success means whatever, according to me only. It is, for me, it's a success because I done this play in 1990s. I was young. I was a boy. And still that I'm doing that same thing. Yeah, that's what a miracle for me. So it's making me young. I am same. I feel like I'm 1996, and I am thinking, and I told you that I just wanted to make it relevant or to assess, to analyze. Is it okay? Is it okay? Likewise, that's what job is going on with this novel. No, sorry, this play actually. Thank you. Please.
Yeah, I'll to ask Shereen something about her presence in the play. But I'd like to make two comments on what you have said. One is that you said two things. The Zacharia has written the novel in his own very casual style. He's maybe using one sentence to represent a lot of things. He's very casual, very simple, very direct, very conversational in the play. And he's depicting a very intense moment in a very casual, simple sentence. And that's his style of writing. But in your production, the production is more intense. Emotionally, it's more intense and it's more sometimes shaking the audience. You're taken that casualness into an emotional height also. You usually do that. But I think in this production, you have made it more intense than even from your other productions. Even from Ice and the Pustakam, this is more intense and more emotionally strong. And the center image of the smell, the scent, which is there in the film and also in the novel, also it is there. But for me, the biggest importance of that central ring got when that well came into the scene. When Tommy was throwing water from the well, and the sender became the well, and he's drowning into the well, and Tommy is getting him out of the well. That becomes the most important action in the whole narrative of your production. So how and why am I myself? Who am I? Why should I take him out? All these things. When that central image, it becomes into the central position and highlighting the character and the relationship of Tommy with Bhaskara Pattelarum, the complications inside, the complexes inside, everything has been coming when this conversion took place. And that is the greatest moment for me in your play. And Shereen, I will like to ask you, as an actor, so the design is there, the space is there. You have to speak not just for you have to speak about it for the other actors also, like Bhaskara Pattelarum is not here, Tommy is not here, and the other crowd is not here. So how you actors found your behavior, your performance in this design, which Suveeran has designed and given to you, this space for you. You don't have much space to move in the play. You are almost stuck into one small corner and one little space. The other actors are moving around, even Tommy and everybody is moving around. So you may be limited to a limited space, and I know you are a dancer and you love to dance and move around and feel the stage. So there is something you have to do. It is not your usual kind of performance. Limit yourself to space and do it. And how it helped you to perform. Am I clear?
I think so. I think I will start by thinking back to when this project began for us in 2018. So when Suveeran sir came to Dubai, he was invited to create this show for Theatre Dubai. And the first thing that struck us as actors is his scenic design. And I remember the first question I asked him are the same questions that you asked him. Why this circle? And then he explained to us the visuals that he had. So this play, he takes lines from the text itself. There's no written script. Nobody has a script to read. In fact, me as an actor, I only have one single line. It's a very physical play. Everything is about images and everything is about movement and smell and touch, and it's a very sensorial play. So he transmitted that passion to us. So I remember that first conversation I asked him, what is the circle? So he talked to us about the meta image, about this being about a constant running, which he talked about, and about how this set is many things. Within the set is the entire universe. There is a forest, there is a well, there are houses, and all of these lives. So he really transmitted that passion to us as actors, and he thinks very sculpturally. So he literally, as actors, we would propose certain kinds of movements, but he was very clear on his images because these images have been with him for many years. So he really crafted it sculpturally out of us. For every single actor. I can tell you personally, Omena's entry, when she re-enters, Suveeran sir has visualized her as a kind of light. She's this very gentle light that comes out from a kerosene lamp. So the first visual of her is when she enters as this light, and that light is extinguished right at the end of that scene when she's brutally raped by Bhaskara Pattelarum. And that space is super tiny. It's a very small round, which is Thommiyude's house is a tiny little circle. And at first, when we were working with that space, it felt quite limited. But then you explore the space within that space. The genius of Suveeran sir is that he will take a line from the play and make it into a scene. There is a beautiful line from the play which says, Pattelarum scent in the manam. It is the scent or the fragrance of Pattelar. He made that into a scene, which is a bedroom scene, which is done very intimately with the two actors, as myself and the character who plays Tommy. We are sort of navigating that little circle, and at the end of that scene, he says this line. So he really converts that into a scene. So we literally have to work in terms of choreography. We have to think as actors. We didn't really block it in the beginning. So Suveeran sir looks at it organically, like how we negotiate the space, and then he looks at it choreographically. So we have to think about this as dancers, almost moving in that space. So it was a very, very interesting experience for all of us, every single one of us. And he knows exactly who should stand at what point, what part of the set is visible to the audience. He's constantly looking at it from an audience point of view. And he literally wants to see every image that he had in his mind translated onto the scene. So he approached it very much as choreography, is my experience.
Yeah, as you said, you have no lines to speak in the play. You are silent, but the presence of the character and the emotions of the character, what's happening inside her, how does it come? Even in the novel, only few lines for Omena. There's not many, but she speaks here and there.
That's right.
But how could you? What was the process by which?
Actually, Suveeran sir had invited me to be a part of another big project. It was the Girish Karnad play called Agni Varsham. So we were supposed to work on the play together. It was a meaty role, but the project didn't happen. And later, when this project came up, Suveeran sir was a little hesitant to invite me to play this character because she's a silent character. And what he told me is, this is your role. It's a very physical role. Make something out of it. You have one line. So that line was an afterthought. Actually, that line didn't exist. But because we presented this as a competition play, he decided to add the Vachika element, so that the people on the panel can hear my voice. So even that line was not there for me. So obviously it's a lot of work with subtext, and it's a lot of work with the body, and I suppose it's somehow translated, because I guess a lot of actors are very dependent on text, right? The plays are very verbose, we're sitting on top of a very strong text. But when you have to come to the truth of the body, when you have to work with subtext to express yourself, I think it's a different kind of challenge, and I really welcomed that challenge, and he was absolutely brilliant to work with. He feeds you that scene, and you really sense that character. Look, I am an urban girl who grew up in the UAE, who's very different from Omana. Omana is a fragile, pure woman, and Suveeran sir was very clear that she should not be portrayed as a bad woman, because clearly a lot of things are happening to her. Even at one point, or one look, or one gesture, she should not come exposed as a loose woman. She does what she does because of her circumstances. So it had to be crafted with balance. So it was really incredible, actually, what he made of it and what he transmitted to us as actors.
And as you said, that balance is the most important thing. That balance is there. She was brutally raped by Patelar, and then after Patelar used to come to her regularly at his own will. But there's even in the play, and even in the text, there's a moment when the reader or the spectator starts doubting that is Omana really now loves Patelar, and at the same time hate him. So these two things happening, which goes up and down inside her. It happens in Tommy also. Tommy loves him, hates him. He might have killed him, but he rescues him. The moment he can kill him, he rescues him. The moment he wants, so it's there. That is actually the beauty of what Zacharia has written. So you leave it undefined. The questions of morality, wrong, right, loose, tight, nothing. It's just the truth of human experience when exposed to real or raw primordial life situations. I would say the base emotions, the primordial life situations when life is not very smooth, life is not very safe. So it's not very safe for Patelar also. He has also a lot of problems. He has problems with money, and he don't want to do it, but he does it. One of the first lines I hear that, we Malayalis made him like that. He's not like that. He's a very poor, very soft, nice person, but we made him like that. So this kind of ambiguity, which is very tough to express, maybe with the lines. If you use more lines, it should not have come out like this. This has been created by the visual imagery, by the movement, by the interrelationships. So these things. So that's what made me look very, this is something very different. And it's very refined also. It's a refined production. It's not, there's violence, there is sexuality, it's sensuous play. Everything is there. And so we know Suveeran does love to do violence on stage, very aggressive with his images. And he doesn't mind what others think. He just do what he wants to do. But here is a balance. Here's a kind of thing which creates these conflicts directly into the mind of the audience. So I was asking about the process. And the other thing, when he's thinking about designing the lighting and the music was really contributing a lot. And one interesting thing which I found in this production, which we usually do not see in a Suveeran play, is the use of songs and lines and the singing from behind. A kind of narrative singing, which at times goes very resonant with the writing style of Zacharia. At times very casual, the way he stopped the play, the lines, the words selected for that. I was very curious to know who wrote these lines. I was thinking Suveeran did it, but I found it somebody else who wrote these lines, which really mark the production than the usual Suveeran productions. Why did you decided to use this narrative, which you do not usually do? Can you say, Suveeran, about it?
I said lots of transformations happened all the way from 1996 to this time. Lots of changes happened, and so I thought there are some sarcastic. I was not conscious about the narrative. No. The real, the satirical maybe, or a kind of black humor in it, a kind of fun maybe. That kind of things I was just discarded from the very first production, but later I came into that. I more realized that there are in it. It's not bad, or it is more powerful than that violence or that serious. So I wanted to replace lots of things in it. So the first thing came to make it kind of cholle, like that, a kind of rounding, kind of a team want to sing, a team should play something, a team. I thought a large scale of musicians sitting all over there and in middle of how to play this play. Likewise, many things I thought. And I even asked to our Paris Chandran to Dubai. I took this ticket to Dubai, and he was very interested. He is no more now. This year he gone away. Anyway, that likewise. And I thought lots of different kind of instruments, and they can come into the play, they can play into the play. Likewise, lots of things. I wanted to distort, I want to replace, I want to make change emotionally also. So it is just a shortcut to get in with the songs. So I asked our great poet, Shivas Parmeri. He wrote all these lines, and it made me ease everything. As you said, I never used in any other play. I made many experiments in this play, as you said. Lots of persons asked me that why you changed the title for the play. The novel's title is Bhaskara Pattelarum and Jeevithavum. And my play's name is Bhaskara Pattelarum, Thommiyude Jeevithavum. So there are answers. It is not an important part. But even then, it answers for many other things also. Because theater is totally objective. A novelist can say a kind of stream of conscience, maybe, or narrative. Even film, a person can express. But in theater, I think it's a space. We're always watching total. Lots of persons. We are making someone important, many things, compositions, movements through that. Just as process where we wanted to make it important, we are making it important with many things, not only light, not only costumes, not only compositions, not only scenic design, whatever. But finally, we wanted that thing important. that thing wanted to be shown, that thing wanted to be communicated. It's very tough comparatively other media, because we have always 24 feet square. We have only 24 feet square. We are playing on it. So I'm saying that also you asked the question last time to even the Shereen, to the Shereen. I mean, I was about to answer it. This is the thing. It's objective. Totally objective. So I forgot actually that question. I was about to answer it. But in total, we are, that's what the name changed. And you asked, yes, according to the lines of the novels and my images, so and so, lots of images, comparatively some kind of powerful. I'm saying that it is powerful only because of it is objective. That's what it is. And that it is, everything is in that novelette. For me, yes. I done nothing in this play. Because everything inspired, every lines, everything, it's got from only in that novelette. Maybe it associated my life, my experience, maybe that, of course, there. But I am saying that all the images, all the things, all the part, even the drops of the water, sky, the environment, characters, their gestures, their imaginations, everything. That's what I tried to say.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things to discuss about the play. Yeah, we have a lot of things to discuss about the play. When you say, as you said, when you change the name to from Enda Jeevithavum to Thommiyude, my life to Thommi's life. So the first person narrative goes to the third person narrative. That means I am telling this story about Thommi and Bhaskara Pattelarum. And the other brilliant thing which I wanted to discuss in length was the use of the body of the actor and how the body of the actor who performed greatly as Bhaskara Pattelarum. I forgot his name, but he was so wonderful to see how he used the body. He's standing up, and how Thommi was also keeping his hands, and then at moments this area is moving and the transitions happening on the body. How the body speaks for the emotions. You have done a great thing about. So when we say design, visual designs, but the acting design, which very few people does. With Omana, restriction of the time is there. We have to conclude. And that presence of water, that splash of water coming, which is one of your favorite sensory images, and the smell, so many things are there. So you cannot say that, no, you have done nothing. Your translator or transform the text into the language of theatre. You have very efficiently taken elements and created the theatre there. And that's not a very easy thing. It looks very simple. Maybe this is the play which looks externally simple in all of your work, but this is much more deeper. I would love to say it like that. So you've done a lot, and I think maybe I'll give the last minute to Shereen if she wants to add anything which I have not asked her, which you wanted to tell us. Just conclude in 1 minute.
I think overall, Bhaskara Pattelarum Thommiyude Jeevithavum has been a kind of a transformative experience for all of us actors. Whether it is Shah Jahan, who plays the role of Patelar, whether it's Dr. Arif, who plays the role of Thommi, myself, and some other wonderful actors who've been in theatre for a long time. I think it's a bodily transformation. It is a kind of a mental transformation to really understand these characters and about how literally molding your body in certain ways can communicate a lot, and you touched upon that. I think that's phenomenal, and I think everyone who is going to come and watch this play at the Meta Festival on the 8th of July will see what he's done to bring these visuals to life. And like he said, he was true to the text, and he's only translated all those inspirations into these beautiful, abstract, choreographically beautiful sculptural images. And it doesn't matter if you don't understand the language. And we've performed this in places where people aren't Malayalam speakers, but they get the essence of the play. I think that's the beauty of it, and that's how I'd like to conclude.
Are you performing a Somana in Delhi also?
Yes, I am.
I am asking Shereen, are you going to be the Omana in Delhi, or
Yes.
you're flying down?
Yes, in fact, a lot of us are flying down from Dubai. 5 actors, hang on, 4 or 5 of us are coming from Dubai, and we're joining.
So I would love to say that now, just that nice evening talking. So a very fruitful evening talking about a nice production from one of my close friends. And thank you Meta for so thank you Meta for picking up a very nice production from Kerala, getting 3 of us.
Thank you, Suveeran and Shereen, for this amazing conversation. And thank you, Chandradasan, for moderating it so beautifully. Once again, we would like to thank the Mahindra Group for their unstinted support for the arts. And thank you all for watching and being a great audience. If you like this conversation, please comment, share, and spread the word. And if you are in Delhi NCR, please join us in celebrating the 4 winning plays from Meta 2020 at the 17th edition from July 7th to the 10th at Kamani Auditorium 7 p.m. onwards. You can buy your tickets on bookmyshow.com.